I am many things. I have been many things. Warm and green. Cold and gray. Devastated and dying. Now I am alive again. But I fear my new children imitate the old ones. Some claim the mountains or the forests, or build fortresses on the plains. They begin to mistrust and prepare for war. Still, I love them as only a mother can, and now I fear for them. I feel the winds of change begin to blow, and this time it may be an all-out storm. I pray that my children will weather this tempest. For nothing is immortal, and one day, they may have to survive without me.
Hello world and welcome. I am Karhu, the Great Bear of the North, and this is Endless Legend. For those of you that don't know what Endless Legend is, it's kind of a cross between Civilization and well, any RPG fantasy realm you can think of. It's actually got a lot of twists on the classic 4X structure as made most famous by Civilization. And in some respects, I actually think it's a better game than Civilization 6. I mean, I've only played for 2 hours. I've done the tutorial, and then I've done up to like about 100 turns, just in order to make sure that everything recorded well and that I understood a little bit more of the game mechanics. But there's some little things that this game does right that Civilization just doesn't do right, but then again, there's some things that Civilization does right that this game doesn't quite do nearly as well. So, I'll just explain kind of what's going on as we're going through it. I'm going to start off as a new world. And basically what this means is that all of the civilizations, all of the empires, all the factions are put on one continent, and then they need to make it to another continent in order to massively survive. Game speed is going to be endless. It'll be 600 turns to win. I'm actually going to put it on normal difficulty because I found easy was a little bit too easy. We're going to play as the Drakken. And the Drakken are an ancient and venerable race. The scholars of the Drakken prize lore, history, and wisdom above all things. Few in number, but exceedingly powerful. They do not seek war, but rather relationships, information, and knowledge. Faction histories, artifacts, and ruins are highly prized by the Drakken, while wealth, military power, and advanced technology are viewed as insignificant. And they have the Drakkenling. Though it does not fly, a Drakkenling's agility and sharp reflexes still make it a frightening melee opponent. We also have a Wyvern. The Scout and Eyes of the faction, Wyverns are used to patrol the skies near Drakken cities, warning of enemies, and of course the ancient dragons themselves. Sage and solemn, the ancient is seldom found outside the halls and towers of Drakken cities. When it is, it generally means that a lot of enemies are going to die. And basically each empire, each faction has a lot of different traits. This one, they have diplomatic pressure, which means you can force truce, peace, or alliance on a targeted empire. Endless excavation, +2 science, +3 influence on a terrain with ruins. So we want to build our cities around terrains with ruins. We also have ancients and wyverns. We can also build the empire mint, which public building dedicated to collecting dust, which is money, and minting currency increases the dust produced. Advanced diarchy. Experience at the necessary negotiation and discussion that takes place within a government. This faction can more rapidly put complex empire plans into motion. Empire plans are unlocked 1 era earlier, which is pretty cool. I'll explain what empire plans are a little bit later. Well connected, being an ancient race with ties to all the other peoples of Auriga, which is the planet that we're on. This empire knows the location of every other race's capital. Gives the Empire the knowledge of the starting positions of every player, the Drakken main quest, cherishing your role as the protectors of Auriga. The many troubling changes in your world force the Drakken out of their isolation as they seek to learn. As you explore and discover new peoples and new problems, you are challenged as well to discover the roots of your own race and its ancient honorable duty, which I think that's kind of a metaphor for A, for life, and B, for what we're going through with this game. We're learning how to play this game, and it's not going to be comfortable, but we're leaving the traditional 4X realm of civilization, and we're going into something a little bit different. And army action, parley and bribe. With a public square dedicated to practicing and teaching the many languages of Auriga, conversations with minor factions can now move beyond pointing and grunting. Unlocks the army action Parley on Empire, and unlocks the army action Bribe on Empire. There we go. So we're gonna choose this one. We will be the Drakken, and it takes a little while to build up the map, but I'll fade in and out. You'll see. You'll see.
We have always been here. The Whispering Galleries have always held the memories of our people. Then they came, and they lifted us up. But they fought, and they fell. Our world was swept by cataclysm, and we were left alone. Still, we persevere, protect, and maintain, as we always have. We may lack their sight and their knowledge, but we can still read the omens. Another cataclysm is coming, and it is we, the Drakken, who must save the world of Auriga.
And that right there is one of the things that this game does well. Each civilization, each faction has its own introduction, all done with voiceovers and things like that, and it is amazing. So this is the region map, which is also, I think, done a little bit better than Civilization 6. We are in Tenel. We have our enemies to the next of us, which is the who is this? That's the purple. That is going to be the Mizari, which I believe are human. And they're the ones that are closest to us, but like everybody's very, very close. Everybody's very cramped. So that's what the New World does. And what I want to do is I want to take this guy. I want to take the Settler. Actually, I want to take the Drakkenling. And I want to create a new army, right? Because it starts off with your army and you got a hero. We have a Settler and we had 2 Drakkenlings. But I want to spread this out so we can actually start exploring. We're going to, oops, close. I don't want to do it with my army. I want it to do with this single unit. We're going to search. We found nothing of interest at this location, which is unfortunate. That's a glass steel deposit. It's a special resource that we can use to upgrade our armor and weapons. I'm also going to take this Drakkenling and we're going to send it out here. I just want to see what some good places to found our first city are. Oh, we've escaped specimens. That's pretty good. The red soil is pretty good. But here. Here is the resource overlay. The green is a number of food, the red is industry, the blue is science, and the yellow is gold or dust. Dust is basically how gold is looked at. And this resource right here, this palm trees and earth spine, looks to be pretty good, as is this massive tree, which is an anomaly. Like, this is a very good place to start. This is a very good place to start. So I think I'm actually going to found a new city right here. It'll produce 11 food, 14 resource, 7 science, 6 gold, 3 influence, and 10 happiness because of all of this. And what happens is, in Civilization, you put a city on a tile, and then it slowly expands, and then you have to put workers into the adjacent tiles in order to work them, and if they're not worked, then they don't produce anything. This is different. All of these tiles will produce things. We can then further specialize by adding, by moving our people around later on. But this is a pretty good place to build. I'm liking this one. I'm very much liking this one. So we're going to build our first city, and it's going to be called Tenelm, because that is the name of the region. You're only allowed 1 city per region in this game, and that's pretty cool. But don't worry, we'll make use of all the other tiles in these regions. I'm just going to get rid of all of these, because these are just major empire encounters, but our special ability, as being Drakken, is we already start with knowledge of all the other civilizations. So, this is the construction queue. These are what the things we can build. We can build a Drakkenling, which is basically our little base infantry unit. We can build settlers, but we need an additional worker in order to build settlers, and I'll explain how this works. We can also build a Founders Memorial, which a one-time construction. We can create 1 in our entire empire. Might as well build it in our capital city. Creates a memorial to your leadership and a founding of your empire. Commerce, patriotism, and politics will ensure that it grows quickly. It gives +2 to everything, but also +1 influence. So we're going to build that, and then we're going to decide what we do after that. But here's how the city works. Right now, the city tiles produce 10 base food. Produce 14 base industry, which is pretty good, 8 base science, 7 base gold, and 4 base influence. A lot of that influence is from our ruins, which we have in our city, which is good. Now we have this 1 worker because it's a population 1, right? And we can move him between food, and we can just move him, and we can just click and drag him somewhere else. And for each guy that we have, for each citizen, it will create 4 production, 4 industry, or whatever. But because they're happy, they also get a bonus. So that's pretty good, right? So what do I want to do? Founders Memorial is 6. If I put it here, Founders Memorial will be 8. That will get the Founders Memorial 2 turns faster, but in exchange for an additional worker, 2 turns slower. So we're going to leave it at this. In science, here's how science works here's how research works in this game. There are 6 realms, and 6 eras rather, and we start in the first era. And each era is divided into 4 sections. We've got the economy and population, we've got the military, we've got the science and industry, and we've got the empire and expansion. So this is how we can do it. If you note, there isn't really a tech tree. We don't need to research, say, advanced alloys in Era 1 in order to get the advanced the alchemical alloys in Era 2. We don't need to do that. It's completely freeform. But in order to get to the next era, we need 9 items in this first tier. So what I want to do is I want to start off with research, because research is awesome. So we're going to build a public library, which will give us +10 science on the city, +10% science on the city, and then it'll increase the city's upkeep. So it'll decrease the city's, it increases the city's upkeep costs. Whew. So it'll cost 150 things to build. There we go. So that's basically how that is going to start. We're going to get rid of this, because it's kind of ugly. And we're going to take these guys and bring them back here. Actually, what is this guy going to do? This extra unit. Nothing up there. I want to research these unspoiled ruins. Because it isn't somebody's territory, they might get angry at me, but we'll see. That's basically how the first turn goes. It takes 7 turns to get us towards public library. Yeah, I'll show you other things as we go along. And don't worry, I'm not an expert in this game by any stretch of the imagination. Like I said, I've only played for 2 hours, but I know a little bit, of what's going on. There's a new quest that has been added. A new Auriga. She extends her wings, stretching her muscles. The gesture has replaced a simple smile, as she learned during the trip that a Drakken smile induces terror, not harmony. Kehangana is content. The city has been founded, and this first step of her duty responsibly executed. They are far from Drakkenholm, but that, she believes, was the will of the 12. Had it been her sister, Prapaheni, things would have been different. They would have halted a scant few days from Drakkenholm. Prapaheni would be too concerned with distance from tradition and not enough with movement towards the future. The 12 were wise to choose Kehangana first. And this is especially true now, with signs of change so heavy in the air. What to make not just of the longer winters and the earthquakes, but also of something closer to home. The birth of those they call Drakkenlings. Why do the eggs that only ever produce Drakken now produce these things? Why now? Many confusing signs seem to appear and accelerate. Whatever the answer may be, it is certain that it involves change, and Prapaheni is ill-equipped to deal with that. This first city, beyond Drakkenholm, will be their hand extended to the other peoples of Auriga. It is a difficult project, and Kehangana fears that it will be perhaps too quickly show the strains that lie beneath the surface of the alternating diarchy. Regardless of her own worries, however, she will press on, not merely because it is the will of the 12, but also because it is the best hope for Auriga. And if we level up 2 Drakkenlings to level 2, we will get 15 gold. Woo! And gold is a luxury resource in this. And I'll explain how luxury resources work later on. From this new city, you'll reach out to the other species of Auriga, driven by strange portents like eggs that bear the wingless Drakkenlings. You must learn what is happening on Auriga. So that is the new quest that we have. And we'll just send our guys out here. I just want to explore the full extent of my first starting region, which is this orange border. And let's go out here. What do we have down here? What is this? This is a exotics. A fecund stench emanates from these weird plants, the earth around them a fertile compost. Crops planted here show astonishing growth. Wow. And then we have escaped specimens, 2 anomalies of escaped specimens. That would have been a cool place to build a city as well. What is this? Steel stalks. Interesting. Wow. That would have been a cool place to build. But yeah, that's the end of that turn. And this game is going to move very, very slowly at first, but it will accelerate, it will pick up. I'm actually really pleased with the start of our first city. And actually, here's what we're going to do. This guy, our first hero, we're going to assign him to a city. He's going to be the governor of Tenno. And by doing that, it will increase the production by a little bit. There we go. I'm going to close the academy screen. 2 bonus from hero capacity. What else is he increasing? He's just increasing the food, which is good. I mean, food is always good. But yeah, these guys are now, let's go on top of this little hill thing. That is another Temple of Ruins. And what do we have here? A Wizard Stone. Oh, these are pretty cool places. I like this little territory that we've got here. There are actually many places that would have made for really good cities. But I want to explore that. I want to explore the unspoiled ruins. And you've heard some references to summer and winter. Winter is like an ice age, sort of, in this game. But the thing is, we don't know when winter's going to show up. It will show up between 7 and 47 turns. So we can't really figure it out, right? We don't really know. And we're going to search this one. Search of the location was worth the effort. 30 dust. Excellent. And we'll go out here just to view some more stuff. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. And these guys, we'll search this one. Search of this location was worth the effort. 5 titanium, and titanium can be used to create advanced arms and armor. So that's definitely a very, very good resource to have. But here's how we upgrade arms and armor. Here's the Drakkenling. This is the unit design, right? But check this out. The items which are equipped by your unit, we can upgrade them, right? Right now their weapon is a sword, which makes them good against infantry. They will absolutely destroy other infantry. However, if they get the spear, it'll use 2 hands, so they'll have to drop the shield. but it'll be really good against cavalry. But we don't really have any cavalry against us right now, so that's fine. I'm actually going to upgrade their armor, because armor is super good. There we go. And then there's such a thing called various equipment. What's this? Special equipment, right? 2 tiers, like a warning bell, which is cut from an ancient temple's alarm bell. The ring has always served those who watch and defend, which gives improved vision, which is good, lets us see further, but also gives us but we can do the flute of the clockwork phoenix, which gives us improved. It's a talisman, and it will give us improved movement. So this is what all our Drakkenlings are going to be in the future. We can actually click on these guys, and it'll cost us 87 gold to retrofit this army. Now, I'm actually going to retrofit this army because it's within our own territory. There we go, and it should be actually Drakkenling level 2. Drakkenling 2, right? Drakkenling 2. We could also upgrade our settlers, but don't really need to. I don't really think. And I'm really hoping that this territory out here isn't claimed by anybody, because then we can use it to settle. So hopefully that region isn't taken by anybody. Let's find out. Let's see what's going on. What is this? That is turbulence. It's a weather situation. Yeah, this game has weather. See, it's these things. It's all these systems that really make this game pretty cool. And 10 Elm, we've increased the population of 10 Elm. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put this guy towards production, which will actually reduce the number of turns for the Founders Memorial by 1, by giving us an additional +4. So that's pretty good. And this guy, who should now move a little bit faster, yeah, he's now got, if you see, the army now has 5 movement points, because the movement points of the army is based on the units within the army that have the lowest movement points. So right now he's the only guy in the army, so he's controlling the movement. Okay, and this is a titanium deposit, which means we can build a titanium extractor to build more titanium in the future. But we'll get there. I'll show you what that means once we get there. And this guy is still looking to get towards search down here. We still don't know who's down there. We still don't know who's down there, if anybody at all. But you know what? We know that nobody's down there, because we know where everybody's capital is, right? There's nobody in this region, whatever that may be named. And there's nobody in this region, so we should be looking to try to settle here relatively quickly, just to get a second city. But let's start exploring this region. Oh, it is a cold region. That's not fun. That is not fun at all. We've encountered a new minor faction, the Delvers. These guys kind of look like dwarves with skull masks, right? The Delvers have their origins in humanoids that were trapped deep underground after an earlier cataclysm. They fought their way back up to the light. An effort of decades that made them skilled miners, tunnelers, and explorers. Yeah, they're dwarves. And if I assimilate these guys into our civilization, not only will we be able to use the dredge infantry, as we can put them into our empire, we can use them in our armies, we'll also gain 5% more dust per pacified and rebuilt Delver's village. In each of my cities. So that's cool. And there's 2 ways to bring these guys into our realm. We can either attack them, then we have to rebuild the city, or we can parlay with them and get and make some missions with them. So we'll see how that works. We'll see if we want to do the parlay or if we want to do the warrior way. Let's send these guys through. Doesn't appear to be a whole heck of a lot down here, but it's better than nothing. And these guys are actually just going to head back to 10 Elm in order to join the garrison and join the army. Just going to go for another couple of turns, and then we'll call this one an episode so that we can get to the next episode, which will be fun. Research complete. We've finished research on public libraries, and they finished the Founders Memorial in 10 Elm. And it's kind of cool that those 2 things happened at the same time. So we're going to build a public library. Again, 10 more science, which will double our science output, basically. And then an additional plus 10%. So it will actually double our science output. But it will cost 1 per turn. And then after that, we're going to build a settler. There we go. We can build this, but it'll cost us 290 to build, so I don't know if we want to do that. And settlers do require one population in order to grow. Yeah, very, very cool though. So we're going to exit that city. Oh good, that is... Click to change the location of the spawn point used by my naval units. Naval units cannot be built on ice shelf tiles. Okay, so that's where my naval units will spawn. That's pretty cool. Let's get you guys back there. And you guys... Let's just explore this icy realm. I've encountered a new minor faction, the Ninja. Though bird-like in their appearance, the Ninja are closer to humanoid than one might think. The young are birthed, not hatched, and like other advanced peoples, their habitats are carefully chosen for defense, foraging, and observation. And if I do assimilate them, I'll get 5% initiative, which basically makes my guys move faster in combat, because yes, combat, there is a combat map as well as the over map. Actually, no, it's the same map, but you'll see what I mean when we get to that. And they can fly, they slay ranged people really, really well. So, I don't know who I want. If I want them or... Uh-oh. Well, that's Black Dust. I thought these guys had killed somebody. That's Unspoiled Ruins. But let's search the Unspoiled Ruins. Well, we found nothing of interest. That's unfortunate. So yeah. These guys are going to continue to... just explore this. No research selected. That's Balderdash. Mill Foundry. We'll do that. Let's get cultivation. Ooh, no. Let's get the extractors. What was it? The dust dredger, dust filtration. Yeah, it was titanium. I think that's what we had. Here, let me see. What are the special resources here? We've got wizard stones, which is just an anomaly. Temple ruins, fine. Titanium deposit, which means if we get the extraction tools, we can build titanium, get them into our empire. Well, we've got exotics. What do we have here? We have glass steel. Okay, so we have glass steel and titanium. And earth spine. So we don't actually have any luxury resources. Which is unfortunate. Or did we? No, we just have a bunch of anomalies. Okay, so I don't really need that. We could do the titanium and the glass steel extractors. We could do that. Or go city improvement food. Let's go for city improvement food and then city improvement industry. Let's get that done. But yeah, these guys are just going to rejoin our garrison. And that will be the end of this episode, actually. I am Karhu, the Great Bear of the North. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see, please like, please subscribe, please comment, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter. Check out the rest of the series. It will be coming over the next few days, at least the first 5 episodes or so. And then I'll decide whether or not to continue this. I will definitely continue playing, but I don't know if I'll continue to put it on YouTube. It depends on what you guys think. So if you guys want to see more of this, definitely let me know in the comments. But other than that, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all next time in Endless Legend. Ciao, guys.